Hello, I'm John Hassinger. I have something really interesting to show you. The historic basis of astrology. Now, everyone and their dog knows about Stonehenge, right? But what you may not know is that, among other things, these stone monoliths are aligned exactly with the solstices. Let me show you. This is a picture taken on the day of the summer solstice. There's the sun coming up just between these two monoliths and behind what is called the heel stone. Any study of Stonehenge will quickly go to the heel stone as one of the main markers of the solstices and equinoxes. This only occurs once a year, on the day of the summer solstice. What this means is that people who set up these stones knew about things such as solstices and equinoxes. But what's really odd is they thought these astronomical alignments were so important that they recorded them in stone. And not just little stones, mind you. They marked these astronomical events with 50,000-pound boulders. Here's another picture showing the sun at the winter solstice at Stonehenge. I mean, look at the size of these rocks. To those who built Stonehenge, this was obviously very serious stuff. But why? What in the world is going on here? The solstices and the equinoxes mark the 4 points of the beginnings of the 4 seasons, and these have been set in stone. Have you noticed that at noon in the summertime the sun is high overhead, but during the winter it's low in the sky? Here's a picture to illustrate. See that if you look around noontime where you live, you'll see that the winter time, when it's cold and when the sun is low in the sky, it looks kind of like this. And at the summertime, when the days are very long and it gets kind of warm out, the sun gets higher in the sky. So the sun has this yearly cycle, winter to summer, like this. In this next picture, someone went out every few days to the same spot at the same time of day, carefully positioned the camera, and photographed the sun. Then the photos were combined, and as you see, they show the sun in a slightly different location every several days in its annual journey. In each snapshot, the sun is seen moving higher or lower in its yearly cycle. Here's the winter solstice down here, the summer solstice up here, and in here someplace would be the equinoxes. Ancient people went to a lot of trouble to put this annual cycle in stone. And in fact, they knew when the sun was moving the fastest, which is the equinoxes, and when it is pausing, the solstices. Sites all over the world like Stonehenge show this, but why? Why did they go to all this trouble? Now, these Neolithic farmers could easily have looked at the horizon to see where the sun was. They didn't need 26-ton stones precisely aligned to tell them when to plant their crops. A glance at the horizon would tell them when the sun was where the sun was rising, and when it reached a certain peak or hill or other kind of marker in its annual journey, they would say, oh, it's time to plant, if they even needed that kind of information. Pretty basic stuff. The point is, people living 5,000 years ago knew about the motion of the earth around the sun, and obviously it was very important to them, and not for planting crops. Stonehenge is only one of many other stone circles, burial sites, and places of worship scattered across the British Isles, Europe, and the rest of the world. Here's another site, the Callanish stones in Ireland. Is this cool or what? This site and Stonehenge are two of the best preserved sites in the British Isles, but that's not all. There are also mounds, crypts, monoliths, pyramids, sweat lodges, churches, temples, stone circles, caves, observing the solstices and equinoxes and other astronomical alignments in 38 countries. In astrology, the beginning of each of the 4 cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, each is aligned with the solstice or equinox point, and it's always been that way. For example, the point where the sun pauses during the summer solstice is the point marked as the beginning of the sign Cancer. In other words, the beginning of summer is synonymous with 0 degrees of the astrological sign Cancer, and it's always been like that. Now, if you want to see this for yourself, you can go to any weather site, and they'll happily tell you the exact hour and minute of the next solstice or equinox. And when it happens, look in your ephemeris. look in your record of astrological transits, and there will be the sun at, say, 0 degrees Aries at the exact moment of the spring equinox, or exactly 0 degrees Cancer at the precise moment of the summer solstice. As you can see, with just a small amount of research, this is indeed the basis of astrology, the solstices and equinoxes as declared in stone by ancient civilizations so very long ago. So there you have it, a bit about the historic basis of astrology. Thanks for listening.